just want to make one comment after Jim's introduction. It is two things, actually. Number one, playing hockey at Stanford is not what you think it is. Any of you could do it. So that's the first thing. The second thing, when you hear them listed off, there is a long list of awards there. And prior to this, to coming here, Craig was asking me if this one was going to be special. Maybe because he thought there were a lot of other ones. But it is, none of those other awards are anything like this, right? Those are all kind of sterile. You just do the work and you get the award. It's nothing like being chosen or being identified by the people and places you've come from. That's an intrinsically special thing, and I thank you for that. I can't see anybody, it's just, The other thing I wanted to, in terms of thank yous off the bat, I want to thank my family. My parents are here, my first teachers. The rest of my aunts and uncles are here. I want to thank, in terms of the committee in particular, Dawn and Craig, because they're the ones I interacted with the most in the weeks and months prior to this. So I appreciate their help through this. In particular, though, I have to thank one person, and that's Crystal Stouth, because she's the one who nominated me for this. And I know there are probably other people involved with the nomination after that, and I apologize, I don't know who they are in particular. But I want to thank her particularly, because that's where this started. And so, thanks very much, Crystal. I don't think, the last person to thank, of course, is Jim Trash for giving me that introduction. I appreciate that. I don't think Jim would remember the first time, well, he would remember the first time we met because I was just a little kid in school, but the first interaction I ever had with him, I remember really well. And I was in grade 4, I think, and I had been reading some science stuff. And I got into a point where there's something called scientific notation, and it has to do with how you express large and small numbers. It's not important. The important thing is I didn't know what it was. And my teacher at the time, Mrs. Vogt, didn't know what it was. And she said, well, you're going to have to go see Mr. Trash. And Mr. Trash was in the spooky junior high end of the school, right? It was the end we never go to ever. And Jim, even at that time, was a very scary guy. All through junior high, he was a scary guy. I don't see it now. It doesn't seem scary anymore, but at the time, he was pretty scary. So I went down to his office with whatever little problem I had and asked him about scientific notation, and he explained to me what it was, and it's very simple. And I thought, that's it, eh? Okay. But I remember that really well, and I think it's important today because I think about what would have happened if it hadn't have happened that way. Imagine I would have went down to this scary end of the junior high school, and Jim didn't have any time, or was dismissive, or didn't know, something like that. Those have all been bad things. But it makes me think about how fragile that path is, especially through elementary, junior high, and high school that we're on. Any little perturbation, if he hadn't have helped me with that, I might not have been staying on reading that book. I might have, I would have been a little discouraged. I might not have been crushed, but it would have affected things. And those little perturbations that happen that we experience at the very beginning are the most important. Whereas some, as you all know, your teachers, you're used to thinking about this, but I think as I went forward to Picture Butte High School, there was another host of people who individually, day by day, had little things that they were helping me with or coaching me on or supporting me all the way through. I can't say, and it's not just for your benefit, I can't say that I ever had a bad teacher. I've had bad professors. Absolutely true. And there are lots of bad professors, but I did not ever have a bad teacher, and I feel fortunate for that. It maybe didn't have to be that way, but it's a credit to the Palliser School District overall. Right? I am a professor now, and so I can also tell you that I'm well aware, you learn this quickly when you're a professor, so I'm taking in the products of school districts like yourself every day. And I see hundreds and hundreds of students who've gone through primary and secondary education. And you realize very quickly when you're a professor that by the time I get them, they're highly formed. right? There's not a lot, like I can add to what they know, I can build upon the work that you've already done with them, but I can't repair holes and I can't fix large problems. I'm dealing with what you've created already. And so it's very clear to me. I think it's clear to you already, but I want you to know that professors know this, that what you do at the primary and secondary school level is massively more important than what we do at the university level, because we can't do anything with anyone if they haven't gone through your process already and come out as a strong, developed adult. So it is September 1st today, the start of a new year. I've always felt like September 1st was the new year, not January, right? It just feels that way. And we're all going back to hallways. I will go back to Western, and there'll be hallways full of students as well. And they're all running around in your classes. And they won't know that they're lucky to be in the Palliser School District. And they certainly won't tell you, if they do realize it, you aren't going to get that sort of feedback at that time. That's why it's such a special thing to be here many years later, to be able to tell you that I understand that I was very lucky to be in the Palliser School District. I'm very happy that I was in the Palliser School District. And I really would like to thank all the teachers, staff, and everyone associated with it for helping me become the person I am today. Thank you.